Hey, welcome back to another edition of Success and Motivation in the No Comfort Zone. My name is Dan Brzezowski. I'm going to be your host. And in today's podcast, the topic is going to be identify. And I really do hope you enjoy the show. I really appreciate you listening. And do me a favor, try to go to Apple iTunes and try to give me a great review. I would absolutely love it. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, but more importantly, I hope you get something out of the show today. I hope it helps you get a little out of your comfort zone so you can start living on purpose. Thanks for listening.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Identify. It's one of those things that right after you become aware of how you got into the situation you're at or where you're at in your life, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever it is, just becoming aware, looking around and going, okay, I worked really hard to get to this point. I got to this point because I didn't work hard. I wasn't paying attention, whatever it is for you. Just, you really got to know that foundation. It's like an airplane, if you're in Washington, D.C. and you want to go to Los Angeles, if you want to get to Los Angeles, I think you have to know that you're in Washington, D.C. And then you're going to have to set the course of action of what you're going to do. And then every now and again, based on altitude, windage, and gravity, and I don't know anything about aeronautical engineering. I don't even know I can say the word. There you go. But really what it comes down to is that you really have to know something about how you're going to get there. And that's all this is. My show, this podcast is really designed to help you, really instruct you to go to the calendar, go to launchwithdan.com so that you can actually get on my calendar so that I can actually call you so that we can work together to help you go after your goals and start living, find some happiness, find some success in your life. I found a duplicatable process that I did for me and it worked out really well. And I talk a lot about the blueprint and I go through it. So, if you keep coming back to the show, there's going to be tips, tricks, hacks, a lot of hard work and identifiers that'll help you stay on course. And today we're talking about really the most important, I think, when it comes to goal setting is identifying. So here's how I came across this one. I used to be a sales trainer back in the day, and a sales trainer, and what I was doing is I would go around the country and I would train car dealerships and I would train salespeople on an ethical sales process. I would train their managers on coaching on this ethical sales process. I would get involved in the process, whether I was in the dealership or on stage or in a classroom. This is the type of training that I did. It was very engaging and a lot of interaction. But I realized that if I wanted to become a better trainer, I had to really become a better teacher. And to become a better teacher, I had to become a better student. And what I mean by that is I had to really listen to the people that I was training. And trying to teach somebody something new, if they're highly engaged and into it, it's relatively easy to do. However, most people have a lot of fear and anxiety when they're starting a new job, or if they've been in the job a little while, or if they got used to things, they kind of start taking things for granted and they think they know it all, and it's hard to train that person. So I discovered a clever way by asking somebody a question, by asking a room full of people a question, and really digging into the basic answer, I was able to get some leverage. And by having this leverage, like I hope to do with you, is to identify those lessons learned from your adversity, from your mistakes, from your problems, from your challenges, so that you can really work on this second chance and this rebound so you can come back with gusto. And, this vendetta you have to be successful, you can actually go after it and have a fighting chance again rather than getting caught up in, the current of life and just going down the river. So by asking all of these salespeople and all these managers this one question, it was a great identifier for me to get the leverage I needed to teach them the process so that they could benefit from the actual learning. Okay. And this is super simple for you. This is so easy. Here's the question. You ready? What do you want? What do you want? That is a question that will stop most grown men in their tracks. Most people don't have a clue with what they want in life. It happened to me. I thought I knew what I wanted, But what I wanted was based on everybody else's idea of what successful was. The year-to-date income, 6 figures is what the deal was back for me. Having a nice car, having a nice house, living in a nice neighborhood, having the Rolex on the watch. Having the Rolex watch. And I could tell you that family was important to me, but I so took all of that so much for granted that I ended up losing a lot of it. It just, to be honest with you, it wasn't that important to me at the time. So when I recalibrated and identified what's really important to me after all the adversity that I went through, after all the problems, after I lost everything, I came back and identified exactly what was important to me because I became aware of exactly where I was at in my life. So identifying what did I really want out of life, I realized that if I knew what I wanted, I could work towards that. So in training salespeople, I would ask the same question, what do you want? And I would keep asking the question over and over again until I got a real answer. So, I want to make 6 figures. Why do you want that? So I can do this with my family. Why do you want to do that? And it always comes down to the same thing. Most men that I talked to that were in sales were looking for some sort of significance. They wanted to be validated. And the money is the first level thing they can say. They want to be a provider so that their family will love them. And if their family loves them, then they feel significant. So the reason I'm talking about it on today's show is because I'm asking you today, whether you get on my calendar or not, do yourself a favor. Write this question down. What do I want? What do I want? And come up with an answer and then ask, why do you want that? Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Because really, truth be told, you're going to find your purpose if you keep doing that. And then everything you do in your life becomes an opportunity to learn something, to help you get one step closer. And I'll talk about this a lot more in the blueprint. I really go deep in this. And, on the phone call, maybe I don't go so deep, but I topically go through it to give you a really good understanding of what that means and how it can help you using the entire blueprint. And I'm only on the second topic of the blueprint by this point. Aware is the first part, and then identify. When I identified what I really wanted out of my life, everything I did therefore was completely just to get out of my comfort zone, no safety, no security, just go for it as soon as I identified what I wanted. And what did I want? I identified that I wanted certainty. I want certainty. And how do you get certainty? You work really hard on yourself. You stay disciplined. You have courage. You have a great attitude, a belief system. I talk about so much on this, but we can go into that in detail. But really take that time to identify what it is you really want out of life. Imagine that life's like a big, back in the day in like Christmas time, we would go look through the catalog for Sears and we would circle the things that we want. And it was like this really exciting time to say that I want this or I want that and circle it. And we wouldn't get any of it, but maybe sometimes we would. But really it comes down to, it's just exciting to wish and want that. But really life is all about, you wish for things, you hope for things, then you put a plan together and you work for things. And if you continually work at it day after day, you have a really good chance of getting it. But again, you have to identify what it is you truly want. So listen, this is a really simple podcast. My goal is truly 100% to help you achieve your goals, whatever that might be. And the way that we do that is taking the adversity that you experienced, we pull some lessons out of there, we have a conversation on the phone, I call you, get on my calendar and I'll call you, go to launchwithdan.com, and then we'll start piecing things together and I'll give you a game plan that you can walk away from. And if you want help, if you want somebody to coach you through your goals so you can get to that point, so I can high five you in the end and you can be victorious, you can get all of that redemption that you wanted back, I'm the guy that's going to help you do that. You're going to do all the work, but I have a duplicatable process that's worked for me, and I can explain more about that in the future podcast. But also, too, I can tell you this. Once you go through this, you're going to begin to find happiness, and that's what it's all about, finding your purpose. The best way that I know how to do that, the best way, personally, is every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. When I'm starting to take things for granted, first thing I do, I get outside of my comfort zone so I can live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye.